Hello, and welcome to Privilege, Power, and Admissions: How Private Colleges Reproduce Inequalities, Reimagining Access Through Critical Black, Indigenous, and Disability Lenses. I am Danielle Myers-Frierson, and welcome to our group presentation. So, what is privilege? Privilege is listed as a special right, advantage, or immunity granted or only available to a particular group of people or person. So, setting the stage, privilege as a system. The question, are private colleges amplifying privilege across generations? Privilege is an intentional historical system. Through a critical lens, we see how race, class, and ability have long shaped who gets to learn, lead, and belong. Frameworks include Black studies, critical Indigenous studies, and disability studies. The cycle of privilege and power includes these four aspects: access, advantage, power, and policy. Critical Black studies shows that educational privilege was never race neutral, but rather built on exclusion and erasure. Critical Indigenous studies exposes stolen land, language, and the knowledge in institutional building. While privilege is about whose humanity is recognized and whose potential is systemically constrained. So let's examine the broader impact. Privilege doesn't end at graduation. Private colleges are gatekeepers to leadership in corporations, government, as well as academia. When the same identities occupy spaces of power generation after generation, inequality becomes institutional memory. Elite colleges aren't just educating individuals, they're reproducing class and race privilege. Anthony Jack. Policies that sustain privilege. Whose merit counts? Legacy admissions, standardized testing, and need-aware practices maintain demographic advantages. Critical Black studies often challenge colorblind meritocracy as structural racism covers. Critical Indigenous studies questions Western definitions of knowledge and success, while disability studies reveal access barriers shaping college-ready criteria. In order for us to truly reimagine admissions, we must ask ourselves what equity-centered admissions could look like if we centered Black, Indigenous, and disabled wisdom at the core. We must be committed to end legacy preferences while dismantling inherited advantages, as well as adopting socioeconomic and community wealth indices that value resilience and context. Intergenerational mobility must be at the core. Beyond access, building cultures of belonging. Equity is merely the floor. Belonging and liberation is the goal. We must build mentorship programs for first-gen, neurodivergent, and low-income students. Implementation of trauma-informed, culturally responsive counseling. Campus climates that affirm identity and belonging, while centering student voices in institutional decision-making is key. Intersecting frameworks. Critical lenses often reveal systems of privilege. Critical Black studies race, resistance, reimagining power. Critical Indigenous studies land, community, collective liberation. Disability studies challenges ableism, redefines productivity and intelligence. All at the shared core, liberation through access, representation, and dignity. Discussion and design challenge. If we centered equity, healing, and cultural wealth, what one admission policy would you change and how would it transform access? Small group exercise. Create one actionable policy recommendation. Reflect on potential unintended consequences. Closing reflection. From access to transformation. Privilege persists as long as institutions prioritize tradition over justice. Our task is to open doors and rebuild the rooms themselves. We are not here to fit into systems of privilege. We are here to transform them. Thank you so much for engaging in this dialogue, and let's keep reimagining education through justice, belonging, and collective healing.